Golden rule number 4. Cultivate the attitude of gratitude. Gratitude comes from the Latin word gratia, which means gift. To acknowledge the many gifts and blessings we have received in our life. And the word gratia also means something else. Pleasing. The sentiment of gratitude immediately bestows joy from inside. When people ask me, Swamiji, how to handle this mind which is doing negative thinking, so cultivate the attitude of gratitude. Just think of the many blessings that you have received. Your whole mindset will change. Because all of us may have a portion of our glass which is empty. But we also have the portion which is full. It's just a question of what you wish to focus upon. This is such a powerful, positive sentiment. It will knock out everything else. So, all of us can start counting our blessings and benefit from this attitude. But the problem is, we got this disease where we are always focused on what we don't have. And in the process, we forget what we have. On one lazy Sunday afternoon, 3 senior school students thought of a prank. They got 3 goats into the school compound. They painted on the back of one, number 1. On the back of the second, number 2. On the back of the third, number 4. And released them in the school. The goats, they were meandering around the school courtyard and corridors. And next morning, when the principal and teachers started filing in, they discovered goat droppings all around. The alarm was raised, something is wrong. Search for these creatures. Somebody discovered goat number 2 in the faculty common room. Somebody discovered goat number 4 in the chemistry laboratory. And somebody discovered goat number 1 in the boys' restroom. So they got the goats, but now they panicked even further because goat 1, 2 and 4 were there. They said, 3 is missing. Where in the world is number 3? So the principal said, search harder. He declared a holiday and asked all the students to go. They were frantic for many hours because there was no goat number 3. But they were looking for it. So likewise, we may have everything. But the one thing we don't have, we think about it. And we say, oh my God, how unfortunate I am. And we forget all the things we have. Now imagine how opulent the world has become over the last 70, 80 years. Since the Second World War, the median income discounted after inflation worldwide has increased 440%. In the United States, it's more than doubled. The average size of homes has gone from 1100 square feet to 2300 square feet. But the happiness level of people has halved. So why have they become less happy when they are having much more? Because they are comparing that other guy has got more than I have got. So again the unhappiness is happening. I was in Seattle in the month of April. And I spoke at Microsoft and at Amazon. I was astonished that these young Indian IT guys, 30-year-old, they are earning 400K a year. But across the board, they were unhappy. Why in the world are you unhappy now? Swamiji, I don't have this one thing in my life. Hari Baba. 99.9% of the engineers in the world will do anything to trade their job for yours. And you've got their job and you're still unhappy. This is the height of ingratitude. So the ingratitude, there is a law of decreasing marginal gratitude. If you did microeconomics 101, you came across the law of decreasing marginal utility. Right? Decreasing marginal gratitude. One man was roaming in the forest and he lost his way. And for 48 hours he was hungry. Food. He was praying, oh God, let me not die of starvation and let me not become meat for animals. When he saw an apple tree, he was so full of gratitude. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. He took the first apple with so much of gratefulness in his heart. But when he took the second apple, he was a little less grateful. The third apple, he was a little less grateful. And by the time he had the 10th apple, he was not so grateful. He is not taking it for granted. So this is the problem, that what we have, we start taking it for granted. And we miss out on the opportunity to be thankful. We are living in the most opulent country of the world. But are you thanking God for it? We always find something that we are lacking and then keep crying about it. On the other hand, you really don't need anything to feel grateful. It's a fact. I have been to the smallest villages in India and you find the most grateful and joyous people there. Arey Swamiji, I am so blessed. What are you blessed about? You are living in a thatched hut. God is so kind upon me. Look at that. And we are having everything and we say, oh God, you never gave me that. That is the ingratitude. So let us not make the mistake that was made by one gentleman when COVID befell him. See, when COVID came, a lot of husbands started working from home to the consternation of their wives. Some of the husbands were not blessed with the best of natures. So this one particular husband, he was working from home and he was always getting annoyed upon his wife. No matter what she made, he would find some defect in the food. And then, one day he crossed the limits. He told her, there is no taste in the dal and no smell in the sabzi and no taste in the roti. So the wife, she rang up the hospital. And in half an hour, the ambulance pulled up and gentlemen in PP suits, the medical people, they came and grabbed him. And he said, where are you taking me? They said, your wife said you have lost your taste and your smell. You probably got COVID, so we are taking you to check you out. On the other hand, if you wish to feel gratitude, there are so many reasons to do so. I have heard of the same COVID times of this Sethji in Delhi who caught the Delta variant, and when his the count went below 80, he was taken to the hospital. There he was put on ventilator, and he stayed on the ventilator for 1 full week battling COVID. And after 1 week, when his situation improved, the SpO2 count went up. He was then released. So before departing, he had to clear the bill. And the billing clerk gave him the bill. 14 lakh rupees. He said, for 7 days, 14 lakh rupees? He said, you were on the ventilator. So Sethji started crying. The billing clerk said, Seth, we all know your status. In Delhi, you are the Nagar Seth. You have so much. Don't tell me that you're crying because you have to fulfill a bill of 14 lakh rupees. Sethji said, I am not crying because I have to give 14 lakh rupees. I am crying because this just reminded me, you people gave me oxygen for 7 days and gave me a bill of 14 lakh rupees. God was giving me oxygen for the last 65 years. What about his bill? I have never paid him for it. Isn't it? At least we can clap at that. So all of us should be grateful for the earth we walk upon, the air we breathe, the sunlight that falls on us and creates vitamin D, etc., etc. Another problem that starts arising is when we want God's graces to be packed exactly as per our wishes. So God should grace me in the manner I want, not in the manner He wants. And that is why we are not willing to recognize that He is gifting us. It is like that child whose father was a billionaire. And when the child was graduating from school, he said, Dad, what gift will you give me? The father said, my child, I'm thinking of giving you a Bhagavad Gita. Come on, Dad, don't be a spoiled sport. You must give me a Ferrari. The father said, I think a Bhagavad Gita will be better. You're being such a miser. You can purchase 1,000 Ferraris, you can't give me one. So when he returned from college, from school after graduation, his dad gave him the Bhagavad Gita. He became so annoyed, you miser. And in his consternation, he left home. He went here, there, etc. And after 1 month, finally he came to his senses and returned. And when he returned, his mother met him at the door and said, my child, you have come 8 hours too late. Why? In separation from you, your father completely lost control of himself. And today morning, he passed away from the world. The child was now heartbroken. What did I do? He went to his father's room and saw the Bhagavad Gita there. He started flipping over the pages, and there was a receipt for the Ferrari, payment made in full. His father had actually purchased the Ferrari and put the receipt in the Bhagavad Gita, but it was not in the manner the child was wanting, so he had rejected it. Likewise, we say, oh God, you must grace me exactly as my intellect says. And God says, look, I am not your order supplier. Instead, we should learn to be thankful for all the little things in our life. Who in this world doesn't have enough to be grateful. The rich person looked at the poor person and said, thank God I'm not poor. The poor person looked at the sick man and said, thank God I'm not sick. The sick person looked at the mentally deranged person and said, thank God I'm not mentally deranged. The mentally deranged person, he looked at the dead body being taken away and said, thank God I am not dead. Only one person could not thank God. That was the dead person. So, since we are not dead, all of us have some blessing or the other in our life for which we can definitely thank God. So this will tie up with the third golden rule, that use adversity to your advantage. And when you start seeing the silver linings, you will automatically remain positive no matter what. I will end with one very heart-touching story of an Urdu poet who used to live in Delhi about 150 years ago. He was invited by the emperor in Delhi to visit his court. And he started thinking, I don't have a decent dress to wear. He was cursing God. You didn't even give me enough money to put on a proper dress. How will I face the emperor? While he was thinking like that, he heard a knock on his door. When he opened, he found a toy seller in a really wretched state. The toy seller did not have one leg, and he was holding a crutch with his arm. And the other leg was intact, but he did not have the second arm. So he had one leg and one arm. And how was he selling toys? He had strung them on a rope, and he had hung the rope around his neck. And he came, I am a khilone wala. Would you like to buy toys? This poet looked at him and said, oh my God, khilone wala, toy seller, what a state you are in. Are you not upset with your wretched existence? The khilone wala said, sir, why should I be upset? I have got one leg and one arm with which I can walk. And I am able to sell toys. I don't think I am selling toys. I think I am selling happiness to the children. I feel so overjoyed at the opportunity to sell this happiness. I am not discontented in any way. If you have any discontent, please tell me so I can help you out. The poet said, look, here I am unhappy because I don't have dress to wear, and this person is happy in this state. So happiness doesn't have a prerequisite to it. It is an attitude that you cultivate, and the key to that attitude is learning the art of feeling grateful. So all of us can open a gratitude journal and on a regular basis make note of our many blessings. And we'll be surprised that so many things we had taken for granted. My Gurudev Jagadguru Shree Kripaluji Maharaj used to say that God's graces are so many that if you start noting them, a full book will get published. And if you can just learn to appreciate them, you will become God realized. There's nothing further to be done.